Well, the global market sell-off, that's our top story this morning. Sovereign debt fears rising throughout Europe and, of course, putting pressure on the euro. We partner now with the FT to bring you Lex on Bloomberg. You get a sneak peek at the Financial Times' flagship column a day early. Jean-Paul Rathbone joining us now live from London. So, Jean-Paul, thanks as always for joining us. I mean, some people are even questioning the euro's future 10 years after its inception. What do you make of that?
Well, markets are on a high-wire act, as indeed is the euro, so I suppose it's fitting that the Greek word for bank is trapeze, and so there is a circus element to everything that's going on. People are questioning the euro's future increasingly. It's not an idea that's gained currency, if not credibility. Yesterday, Trichet, the governor of the central bank, adopted an Olympian disdain, but the idea is circulating around. And at the root of it all, of course, is the Greek problem.
Yeah, markets didn't seem too reassured by what Trichet said. I'm going to put a kind of crazy question out there. Why can't Greece just say it's leaving the euro?
Well, that's one of the more extreme options for how Greece could begin to solve its problems, which at heart, with all the Mediterranean countries, is one of competitiveness. Now, you could Greece and Spain, say, or Italy could restructure its debts, but we're talking a huge amount of debt here. We're talking about 2,800 billion euros. To put that in perspective, when Lehman went into bankruptcy, it owed $600 billion of debt. So a restructuring of sovereign Greek debt would lead to contagion of other sovereign debt markets in southern Europe, and I think that's just something that can't be countenanced. So the other alternative in the past, when Greece or, say, Italy has run into these kinds of problems of fundamental competitiveness, it's always devalued. But that's a very difficult, that's the most obvious obstacle to Greece doing something like that now, is that it owes more than 110% of GDP in debt. So as soon as it devalued, all that debt would become more expensive, and arguably there'd probably be an extreme banking crisis as well in Greece and the Balkans. So that is an option that's really not tenable either. So it seems like an intractable problem.
So you've been kicking around an even crazier thought, I think, which is to have Germany step out of the EU.
Well, yes. Why not? Instead of having the southern European countries that are locked into an uncompetitive exchange rate devalue, why not have Germany step aside? You'd have a new Deutschmark, which would appreciate probably. German debts would actually fall. It wouldn't be good for German competitiveness, but it would solve the kind of intra-European transfers that might be otherwise required to paper over Greece and Spain's budget deficits. And the euro, of course, the new euro, or the rump euro, would depreciate. So that would help. That might be one way out.
Jean-Paul, we thank you as always. Jean-Paul Rathbone joining us there with some extreme views from the FT in London.